Welcome to the Ambitious Coach Podcast. This is a place where driven, determined coaches learn how to get off the business growth struggle bus and learn how to build a wildly profitable online coaching business. I'm your host, Allison Henderson, corporate dropout to six-figure social media business coach. I'm going to show you how I've been able to create the business of my dreams organically, all through utilizing my social media platforms. So pull up a seat, take some notes, and get ready to see your life and bank account transform. Hello, and welcome back to the Ambitious Coach Podcast. This episode is Allison's monthly review. So I'll be going over my February with you and just some other things that I'm looking forward to in March. Guys, I almost didn't record this today. I'm just tired, if I'm being honest. I worked out this morning, so I did like a 9:45 workout. I just came home and I was just like, I just kind of want to sleep all day. I'm really tired. My kid last night, she's 9, okay? But I'm pretty sure this is what's going on. She's been waking up in the middle of the night. And then also before bed, she's been kind of like fighting us on bedtime. And I'm pretty sure she's been watching like scary TikTok videos. She told me that she saw this one where like a kid or something was laying in bed and the blanket was just like ripped from like their feet, right? So like as if a ghost was pulling the blanket from her feet. And she was telling me about this. I'm like, yeah, but those are like fake TikTok videos, duh. Like, and our adult minds are like, duh. But I also remember as a kid, and you might be able to relate to this, where you're like, yeah, I feel like someone's staring at me, right? Like when you're laying in bed and you're just like, is someone underneath my bed or someone in that corner, in the dark corner over there in my closet, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, so I understand she's a kid and she's just like her imagination is running wild. And obviously with her watching these scary flipping TikTok videos. But I got really mad at her. I'm being completely honest. Like I got like multiple times woken up last night, and our youngest daughter was actually not home. So my toddler stayed the night at my mom's house. So I was like, oh my God, this is gonna be such a great night. I get a full night's sleep. Like I was just really looking forward to bedtime. Like my husband was already in bed when I got home. It was like 8:45. Like he was like, I'm in bed, I'm ready. And we were just like, looking forward to a night where we didn't have to I hate to say it, but deal with our little one. But the oldest one was the one that was a problem. Like she kept coming in. I was like, what is going on? Like, yeah. So I didn't have much compassion for her. And I this morning when I woke up, she was like, you were so mean to me last night. And I was like, yeah, but you kept waking me up and I'm mad. I was mad. And I made a little note here is like, why are we so mean to our moms? Like, like she was, I knew I could have handled the situation differently, but like she like ripped me a new one this morning when I woke up, and I was just like, wow, why are we so mean to our moms? Like our moms do everything for us. And like, gosh, like we have very little appreciation for them. Like I try my best now, knowing that now I have 2 kids, and like I know my mom does. She still does like everything for me. She still makes dinner for me like all the time. She's always watching my kids. Like she's a saint. But yeah, I was just like, wow, God, you can literally say anything to your mom and she's still going to love you like so much. And I hope that is like your reality too. I know sometimes I'm just so mean to my mom, or I remember being a kid and being so mean to her. It's like, oh my God, my mom had done everything for me. Like it still does. So even my toddler yesterday in my stories. So as I'm recording this, it's like, what is today? Sunday the 5th, March 5th. So yesterday in my stories, I was like, hey, all in 30 seconds, my toddler said, my hair is ugly. I look like an onion. I'm a butt cheek. And she has to go to the bathroom. Like all in like literally 30 seconds. I was like, wow, you are so nice to me. But like, she's also incredibly, horribly mean. And no matter what she says, I'm going to love her so much. Like I don't know why we have this thing, but like my husband and I were watching Netflix special. What's his name? I think his name is Nick Kroll. Am I saying that right? I might be saying it wrong. But he's a comedian. He's been in like a ton of stuff. It's a really, really funny network, what do you call it? Comedian special? I forget what they're called, but it's, his Netflix special. So funny. And there was a part where he was talking about how he just like is so annoyed of his mom and just how much he just is so mean to her. And he's like, I know all you moms out there are like, might be offended, but then just take a step back and think about how you react to your mom. And it was just like one of those things where I was like, oh man, this is so funny because it's so true. I know a lot of moms listen to my podcast, and I I just had a night last night where I was just like, I couldn't handle this. And then she literally just this morning just laid into me about how horrible I am as a mom. So anyway, I'm tired. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm tired today because she woke me up 100 times. So yeah, I want to talk to you about my workout for a second. So yeah, I had that this morning. I've been averaging about 3, if not 4 times a week going to Orange Theory Fitness. I really love it. The Crown Point one here that I go to is, I really like, I don't know, it's like the vibe. I'm starting to get to know some people. People are knowing my name. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot how nice this is when you kind of have like a little community of people that you work out with. So I've been really enjoying that. I have just been overall feeling so much better. Like physically, mentally, just my workouts have been really, really good. So this is the thing though. I'm one of those people, I really do push myself to the limits. Like I do max out the treadmill. Like you probably don't want to run next to me. Like I am just that person, but I'm also the person that'll encourage you. I'm like, listen, come on, one more. Like, let's do it. Come on, keep going. That's just my nature. But I had a really, last weekend we did what was it? It was, I forget what the workout's called. It's like one of their signature workouts, but we literally had to like sprint for like 2 miles, if not longer, actually. I quit at the 2-mile mark, but one of the coaches was actually running next to me and she was so encouraging and just like, no, come on, keep going. Come on, you can do this. Like I literally sprinted. This is how I felt, like for 2 miles straight. So I was like, if I'm in a zombie apocalypse, like I can at least run for a couple miles, like I can do this. Like that's where my mind was going after this workout. I was like, zombie apocalypse, I would probably survive. Like so dumb. But if you are somebody who's been craving working out or whatever, just get back into it. Like there's so many benefits to working out. Like I'm pretty lucky. My body, like I have a great body. Like I love how I look. I can't honestly, like I'm not somebody who gains weight easily. And if I do start getting a little weight, this is when I start working out a lot and I start like, really focusing on that. And like, so anyway, like I've told you guys this in like past episodes and like past monthly reviews that like, hey, we just weren't feeling great. Like, we kind of just drank all summer and like, it just like all of a sudden was like, yeah, we like need to start doing something again. So yeah, I just getting back into that routine has just been really helpful for me. And this is something I'm so grateful for too. Guys, it's been 6 years since I left my corporate job. Like I got one of those like little notifications of like, oh, somebody looked you up on LinkedIn. I was like, who would look me up on LinkedIn? I'm never on LinkedIn. I haven't been in a job in years. And I was like, February of 2017, I finally had quit my corporate job. And I was like, wow, I haven't looked at this in a long time. And I was like, this is crazy. But like, I'm so grateful. I used to be that person that would go to like my shred classes at like 5 a.m., come home, quickly shower, walk to the L, because this is when I lived in Chicago. I'd walk to the L, get into the city by 8:30, and then work from 8:30 to 5:30. And then I wouldn't even get home sometimes till like 6:30, depending on traffic and all this stuff. I was just like, I was gone all day. And like, there was just a few times this past week that I just was in this so much gratitude. Like I was like almost like in tears, like crying in the car, being like, I get to work out like whenever I want now. Like I don't have to wake up at this crazy hour to get this workout and to get to my job. And I remember just like getting to my job and I was like still like sweating. Like I was like, oh my God, I just like pretty much have been nonstop since I woke up this morning. And then you finally sit down for work and you're like, oh my God, I'm like still sweating. But anyway, I'm just in so much gratitude for this life that I have created for myself. And I just want you to know all of you can do this too. Like if you're in a full-time job right now, or maybe you just haven't gotten to that point where you feel like you have a real business. I'm going to get to that here in a second, but like write down all the things that you've already been able to accomplish. Like sometimes we need to look back to see how far we've already come from like making a decision. Maybe you have gotten the certification, but you haven't really started the business yet. Maybe you're still in this corporate job, or you finally were able to leave the corporate job and you're like, I might not be where I want to be just yet, but I've already made some big decisions that I should be like really thankful for. And I don't know, I just feel like sometimes we don't do that. We don't do that enough. And so I made some points, like even today when I was like sitting here going through some of the things that I was like, what did happen to me in February? I was like, this is a big one for me. Like it's been a really long time since I've had to get in a cold car in the morning and drive to work, or get up at that 5 a.m. workout when I really just didn't want to, but I didn't know when I was going to fit it in, So when you have a little kid at home and you want to be home with them later in the evening, it's like you have to fit in that workout or whatever that is for you. It could be, I'm like, what could it be? I don't know. Language classes. Okay, so the reason why I say language classes is because when I used to live in Chicago, I was taking Italian classes, okay, because I studied abroad when I was in college and I still wanted to keep up with my Italian. If you tried to speak Italian to me today, though, I would have no idea. Like, I was actually in the car the other day being like, how would I order a coffee? How would I order food? And I was like, oh my God, I've lost a lot of this. I can't wait to go back to Italy. I try to go back every few years. But yeah, it's been a while. So I have my little notebooks, like my little, the little pocket Italian, notebook, whatever, the language books. And I still every so often, just look through them and be like, okay, yeah, I'll remember this. And then I just don't. But anyway, I used to take Italian classes. So in the mornings, I'd wake up a little early, go to a coffee shop, sit for an hour and do my homework and actually sit and look at those little pocket language books just to keep up with my Italian. This is when I had a lot more time on my hands, guys. And I only had that corporate job and I was working out. That was really it. But I try to wake up early and what are those things for you that hey, I might just have to wake up a little bit earlier to get this stuff done. And I just want you to know, you're so capable of doing it. It's just discipline to just get up and do the thing. I used to actually love doing the coffee stuff or coffee shops in the mornings because I just love the hustle and bustle. When I lived in Chicago, it was actually the energy of the city was really great. And so I used to sitting in there and getting a pastry and a coffee. And it was just my time to really just have some me time. I don't do that as much anymore just because I live in the suburbs now and our coffee shops aren't like that around here, which I wish they were. But yeah, I'm obviously we have a Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks and McDonald's and that sort of stuff. But I don't know, I haven't really found a coffee shop where I can just kind of chill and lounge. So I'll get on the hunt for that though. If I'm going to be honest, I feel like I should get out of the house a little bit more and do that sort of stuff because I really, really enjoyed it. All right. I feel like I got off topic. The thing I wanted to come back to was feeling like you have a legit business. Yesterday, or maybe it was the day before, I got a DM from somebody. And she might listen to this podcast. So, hey, she was just we were going back and forth. I was asking her more about her goals for her business. And she was saying, everybody's been really sick at her house, which I know everyone, pretty much everyone I've talked to, they're like, yeah, my kids are sick. We're sick. Then our kids are sick again. And it's just ugh. So I know that's always one of our biggest excuses as business owners is I don't have any time because everybody has been sick. Been there. I get it. But yeah, it was just, she was feeling she wanted to feel like she had a legit business, but she's had clients and she's certified in what she does. And I was like, well, what makes you think you don't have a legit business? Because you do. You've had clients, you have a social media that says that you do this thing. And it was just but she's because I haven't had consistent clients, I don't really feel like I have a real business. And I was like, oh, all right, well, we need to talk about this because I think a lot of people, and I think a majority of my clients had felt this way at some point where because they weren't having consistent income in their business, they felt like they couldn't actually say they were this type of coach yet, or maybe a sleep consultant or whatever it is that you call yourself. So it's oh, that's not true at all. All right. So once you're certified, or even if you're not certified, but you're no, I'm going to create a course. I have a digital course and I can take one-on-one clients, or I have group programs or whatever. Just because someone didn't sign up for it does not mean you are not a bad coach. It does not mean that you suck at what you do. Or it doesn't mean that you do not have a real legit business. Yes, I understand that we have to be making business revenue in order for the IRS or wherever it is that you live to sit there and go, yes, you have a legit business, right? But I think so many times we get so caught up with this consistency of oh, I didn't have any clients for the past, maybe it's been the past month, right? So, oh, I don't have any, or I can't say I have a business or something like that. Our confidence is immediately lowered because they feel like they didn't have any clients this month. So it's blah. So I hope you can kind of understand what I'm saying here, because this is the reality though. A majority, I would say 99% of coaches on social media, okay, in real life even, whatever, are not signing clients every single day. They're just not. They're not even getting DMs every day asking for more information. All right? that's just the reality. Entrepreneurship, your journey is not linear, right? You might go a few weeks, you might go a week, you might go a few days without hearing anything from anybody. I know for a fact, I don't sign clients every single day. I don't sign clients sometimes even every single week. Okay. Like that's just the reality of my business. All right. Of course, I want that dopamine hit. I love when I get payment notifications. I love when someone inquires about working with me, right? Like we all do. Like we all want that every day. But because I know a lot of you're not dishing out a ton of cash for ads or to be on podcasts or to do all the things, like, because that does take a lot of effort, right? It takes money. It takes that investment too. Or like if you're doing Google ads and all these things, like some of you guys aren't there yet. And I'm all about organic marketing. This is like what my podcast is really all about, right? Is helping you organically build your business, and you can still make a lot of money without having to dish out a ton of cash, right? And yeah, I just know a lot of you guys crave consistency. God, you might be able to hear my dog barking. You crave consistency, right? But I know for a fact, if you show up consistently and you are actively taking action every single day in your business, you will have those results that you're looking for. But you're not doing anything wrong if you're not getting clients every single day. So I guess I just really want to throw that out there because you have a legit business. Okay. You have a legit business still if you're not signing clients all day, every day. Okay. So just really want to throw that out there. What else did I want to talk to you guys about today? Let me look here. So I'm actually where I'm sitting. So I'm actually going to take a little sip of coffee because, I want some. I want some. Taking a sip of coffee here. Okay. So, instead of looking at my computer, I'm actually looking at, I'm looking out my office. What do you call this? My door, like my sliding glass door. I don't know why I was going to say window for a second, but it's a sliding glass door that actually used to be a window, and I broke down this wall and put a sliding glass door here because I wanted it to be really big and I wanted to be able to be like very bright in my office. But and if you've watched my stories this past month, I got some trees cut down, and I had a tree that was pretty heavily leaning on my house, and I feel like it wasn't like when I first moved in. And so I was like, there's something wrong with this tree. There was even a crack on the back of it. So I was like, this tree is really starting to scare me. And like, it would literally land on my kid's bedroom. Like that's where it would go first. And so I had a ton of anxiety around this. And I was like, I really need to get this tree cut down. Okay. So finally I had some guy come over, got a few different estimates, whatever, but I had a guy come over, and he was actually somebody that cut down some trees for my dad. So he came highly recommended. Anyway, I had a meeting with him, and pretty much I was like, I just really would like to put this on a credit card. I didn't want to have to pay cash for it because I knew I always have to pay taxes, right? This is like tax time here in the United States. I was like, I don't know how much I'm gonna have to pay. I wanted to keep some cash just in case, right? So I had the money to pay this guy, but I was like, I'd rather put it on a credit card and whatever. And then guys, guess what? Like I get to do whatever I want. Like that's how I felt. Like I was like, even if I wanted just the points, right? Like whatever. But he kind of made me feel bad about putting it on a credit card. And he was just like, well, like, I don't want you to get in credit card debt. I was like, that's not your problem. Number one. Like, I was just like, okay. But he really wanted the cash. Like, he's like, can you pay me cash? I was like, I could, but I would rather put it on a credit card. Is that okay? And he was like, yeah. Like, let me just check with my partner. But yeah, that should be fine. I was like, okay. I feel like if you have a legit one, so let's go back to legit business. If you have a legit business, like you should be able to take payments like more than cash, right? When it's just cash, I'm like, that's kind of red flaggy to me. It seems like, that's weird. Anyway, so he allowed me to pay for the credit card. He called me the next day. He's like, yeah, we got it all handled. You can pay with a card. I was like, cool. And then he comes over. Obviously it's like a 2-day job. Okay. And this is like one of my, like, I was literally fuming for like a solid hour after this guy left. That night, he's like, okay, we'll be back tomorrow, but do you mind, if we square up tonight? I was like, no, not a problem. Like, I get it. So I literally just gave him my card. He's like, oh, are you sure you can't pay in some cash? Like, I was like, oh, no, I told you I really like wanted to pay it with this card. I'm like, because even at one point though, I was like, maybe I could pay you with some cash. I'm like, but I told him straight, I'm like, I really don't want to. So he kind of he's like, oh, I have this bill. I have a $600 bill that I need to pay tonight. Are you sure you don't have cash? And I like immediately was like, So you're making your personal problem a business problem, and you're making your problem my problem. Like, because you have a bill to pay tonight that you're not going to get this money probably for 2 to 3 business days, right? Because it's a credit card. Like, I was just like, oh my God. Like, and just how he said it, like he was like making this my fault that he couldn't pay a bill. And I was like, okay, we need to check in with our business etiquette. Number one, I get that he cuts down trees for a living. So like he probably didn't go to business school or business etiquette school. I'm assuming, I guess I don't want to make assumptions. Like just how he spoke, just, it wasn't like, I don't know. It wasn't always like businessy conversations, if that makes sense. And so whatever, I don't care. That didn't bother me, but it was like he was making like his money problems or his business problems my problem, right? His personal problems, making it my problem. And I was just like, like I was like, oh my God, just get this guy out of my house. Like I was just like, even my husband, like he's my husband. Oh my God. He was just like, is that like the cash price? Like did blah, blah, blah. Were we supposed to pay cash? Like, I was like, dude, stay out of it. Cause I was the only one talking to him. My husband didn't care about this tree at all. It was all me being like, I have anxiety around this tree and I really want to get it taken down. He didn't care at all. But anyway, yeah, I just sat there and like kind of stared at this guy and I was like, I'm putting it on a card. Like, what do I have to do? Like, I was just like trying to be so nice. And I knew he had to come back the next day anyway. And so I was like, I don't want to be mean to this guy or like blow up at him by any means. Cause like, yeah, he still has to come here with a chainsaw tomorrow. So anyway, the reason I want to say this story is because it can leave such a lasting impression on somebody, how you talk about money or how like, just how you talk about your business. And like I said, I know this guy is not a businessy, like he cuts down trees, you know, that's his specialty. That's his zone of genius. But man, oh man, he left a bad taste in my mouth and I would not recommend him. I will not, because of how horribly he talked to me that night. It just was one of those things where he just kind of left me like with the creepy GBs, whatever the words are. I was like, oh, just please. So please don't make your personal money problems somebody else's personal money problems or whatever. Like, oh my God, that's just one of those things for me. So don't bring that stuff up that you have bills to pay. But like, yes, people have to pay you in your business. I get that. But if you say you take credit card, then just take my credit card. So anyway, I hope you guys can feel me on that. But okay, I think that's all I have for you today. I don't really know. I've been already talking for over 20 minutes now. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to March. I actually have a vacation coming up. I'm going to take the kids to Florida with my parents, my husband, of course, like the whole family. We're all going. My parents, every year, they go to the same place every single year. And I used to kind of hate on them for this because I like seeing new things. Like I'm just somebody who's like, I don't want to say been there, done that, but like there's just times where I'm like, I don't want to go back. And then there's some times that I do, right? Like I get that. Like I've been to Europe many times. I've been to Italy many times. Like I love going back there and seeing new things. But yeah, there's something about just going to Florida every spring break that I'm just like, we've already been to Florida. Can we go somewhere else? Like, but they go to the same resort or whatever, but it's my kids love it. It's just, so we're going to go for the week. And I am looking forward to it though, because it's been a while since we've really gone anywhere. Or me personally, my husband went on a golf trip in February actually. So good for him. I'm not hating on him. He loves golf and he deserved it. But yeah, I personally just haven't been on like a solo vacation or really any vacation. Oh, no, I lied. I did go somewhere in November, didn't I? I went to Arizona with my friend. Oh, God. Anyway. All right. These are very unedited. Just so you know, these are Allison's just thoughts and just me chit-chatting. But all right. That's really it for today. I hope that you enjoyed these little episodes of getting to know me and my family and my life and my business and my thoughts and my beliefs and all the things. If you did stick around to the end of this episode, just so you know, this coming Friday, March 10th, I believe, March 10th, I'm going to be hosting a content creation workshop. And yeah, I'm super excited. So if you want to join, just click the link in the show notes. It's for free. I already have, I think, over 50 people or so signed up. And yeah, I'd love to have you be a part of this. So join now, join today. All right. Thank you so much for listening and have a great week. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for listening to the Ambitious Coach podcast today. A couple favors before you go. If you found this episode helpful, please take a screenshot and share it on Instagram. Most importantly, don't forget to tag me at Allison Henderson_coach. That's ALLISON Henderson_coach. And lastly, please take a minute to rate this episode and leave a raving review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you tune in to listen. Okay, ambition is great, but it's time to get to work. Take action and commit to being 1% better every day. Once again, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you again next week.